I met Scott a few months ago doing a project in the neighborhood, cleaning up a yard for a neighbor.
I've known Scott since I was a little kid, probably about 12 years old, and he worked with my father and my uncle, and they've only ever had good things to say about him as a person and as a coworker.
So yeah, I've known Scott Collier for about roughly 3 years now.
Well, I appreciate you being out here, Scott. I've seen you at so many events pushing more awareness for wearing helmets and brain injuries. We have so many of them that take place, and Lieutenant Governor said it isn't just kids, it's kids and adults, and nobody should be out riding without a helmet. I mean, it really does save lives, and it keeps so many people from going through some of the things that you had to go through. So thank you for what you do for getting more people informed and aware, and we appreciate you coming today.
Yeah, Scott's been out here 3 years in a row.
I know. Thank you, Scott.
I've known Scott for a good while, and he will do what he says he's going to do.
You've known him what?
40 years. He was a little bit older than me.
40 years?
He was my brother's age, but I knew him growing up, and he was always a good guy. I think I think he'll do a good job because he's a people person. He's one of us. He's looking out for the community.
I met him at a Baptist church meeting that was for Dundalk TV and CAN community activism meeting.
I have known Scott Collier for 5 years, and Scott is the man for the job, not because he's just my friend, but I know that he would do very well for the Dundalk and Essex community.
In regards to Mr. Scott Collier, I had the extreme pleasure of meeting Scott back in 2014, I believe it was, when I first got involved in politics.
I think he'd be great in the position. Somebody who really understands the people. He's on the ground with the people every day.
I think it was at least a couple thousand signatures that he got helping save the government center. I imagine that's quite a few pair of shoes getting them signatures.
He's definitely a people person, and he cares. He takes the time to listen and really wants to try to help the people. It's not all about the establishment and all that stuff that's been currently going on lately in politics. It's been really bad.
Ever since then, I've been impressed by following his Dundalk TV YouTube about how he presents information that the other TV channels do not cover, and it's much more locally focused.
This is a great idea. My friend Scott Collier at Dundalk TV has come up with this idea about these crosses that are very visible, and they represent all of the people who unfortunately lost their lives in the opioid crisis and the heroin drug problems.
He does stuff for church, he does stuff for individuals, just everything that he can.
He is the epitome of what you should look at when it comes to the idea of not looking at the party, but looking at the person.
I think Scott Collier is doing good work in the community. I think he's running with his beliefs and his heart and for the betterment of the community.
So he has experience in Annapolis. He sees the process. He reads bills. He's informed about what's going on locally and at the state level. And compared to the competition, I think it's pretty darn clear.
And we need people that really want to help the people, not the big business and corporations, and what's actually good for our community is what we need.
Scott is a guy that we definitely need in the state Senate. He's going to bring power back to the people. Part of what he's doing with Dundalk TV is exactly that. So we get the message, and it's not filtered through different biases that we see with other media. This is bringing the power back to the people, and that's what Scott's going to do for you if you elect him on November 6th.
I think Scott Collier will be excellent in that particular state Senate seat in office.
If Scott wins, I think that he would definitely be good for Annapolis. He's absolutely for the people. He looks out, and like I said just a moment ago, with all the signatures that he's gotten, you can tell that he's really about the people. He gets individual with each person, and he's not going to let anybody get ignored. He's not going to let any problem slip through the cracks. Everything is going to be addressed, and in its appropriate time.
He's a genuine guy, and we need genuine in office. So absolutely, I support Scott Collier all the way for Senate.
I just think Scott would genuinely do a great job for our area, and I hope everybody votes for him on November 6th.
He's very energetic. He is lived in the community for over 50 years, and he would truly represent Dundalk well.
I always tell people that if you call the police to your house and a police officer shows up to save your loved one, are you going to ask that police officer if he's a Democrat or if he's a Republican or if he's an independent? No, you're not. We should adopt that same attitude here, and Scott exemplifies that. I mean, he really is for the people. He's running as an independent, and give him all the support you can. I love the guy, and he's been fantastic ever since I met him. Peace.